Hello, welcome to another video. I don't know what to put my opinion on this video. I'm not gonna be in it that much. That's a trick for you, thinking I'm gonna be in the whole video, but no. So subscribe to Blame It on George and subscribe to Watch Mojo UK, because they are they're going to tell you but they're going to tell you some countdown type videos for you all on this occasion. So even this channel is not a review channel, and I know you're thinking, if it's not a review channel, why you got, my nostalgia kind of series at the moment? And it makes no sense because it's a reaction channel, not a review channel. And you've got probably got a review channel on another channel, so I don't know why you did it on this channel. Sorry, I'm really sorry, but my nostalgia is mainly just not my nostalgia, but the series my nostalgia. My nostalgia. When I say that, I really think it's my nostalgia. So the series my nostalgia is mainly just one-off review series on this channel. But I'm not sure about the Halloween video right now. You can decide. I'm watching it, but I'm not gonna show you all my, screen time of me watching it, because I'm letting you react to it. Yeah, it's your reaction now. And also, I don't believe in Okay, I believe in Halloween, obviously, because it's Will, but my religion is all over the place with Halloween. So it's my religion is different. Okay, you're getting bored, so maybe I'll change the subject. So you understand now that I'm not gonna be in the whole video. Haha. You watch the whole video, you find out how terrifying this video will be. In your opinion.
These scenes in one of the videos might be a little bit scary for some viewers.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 TV shows that terrified us as kids. So we're remembering the scariest shows watched by children on British TV, and the creepy characters that are almost impossible to forget. Number 10, Jigsaw. This show didn't seek to scare you, but one character most definitely did, the nightmarish Mr. Nosybonk. With his warped face, staring eyes, and erratic movements, Mr. Nosybonk could quite easily front his own horror franchise alongside the likes of Freddy Krueger. But in Jigsaw, he's simply tasked with solving puzzles. Incredibly, Mr. Nosybonk wasn't even especially designed to be frightening, so someone somewhere must have thought he'd seem friendly. We can confirm he doesn't. Number 9, Doctor Who. Since 1963, kids have been watching this supposedly family-friendly show from behind the sofa cushions. And a main reason for many sleepless nights is the Doctor's greatest enemy, the Daleks. With a completely alien appearance and an endless hatred of all other species, these psychotic pepperpots exterminate at will. Number 8, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. After successes with Thunderbirds and Stingray, the master of marionette kids TV, Jerry Anderson, created Captain Scarlet. Exploring darker themes and featuring tougher violence, this show really made its mark with the series' villain, the all-powerful, all-seeing Mysterons. Though never actually seen on screen, the Mysterons were always present and capable of murder at a moment's notice. Add a deep, bone-chilling voice that makes Darth Vader sound like he's been sucking on helium balloons, and you've got yourself a TV show that truly terrifies. Number 7, Chucky. From John Wyndham, the author of The Midwich Cuckoos, which was later adapted into Village of the Damned, comes this mid-80s children's TV series.
Chucky.
Because if the guy can terrify one generation of children, he can certainly terrify the next. In Chucky, a young boy encounters a mysterious ethereal being, which secretly guides him through his daily life. And what unfolds is an unusually mature and emotionally driven series, as long as you can make it past that opening scream. Number 6. The Storyteller. Tales told around the fireplace are traditionally scary, so this is no exception. The Storyteller sees a goblin-esque John Hurt recount myths and legends, with some brilliant British actors playing the leading parts, including Derek Jacobi, Miranda Richardson and Sean Bean. But they all take a back seat behind the most terrifying Jim Henson puppets you will ever see. With cunning devils, terrifying witches and greedy trolls, this show could turn even the bravest 6-year-old into a quivering mess.
Be thank you to me, and full of great.
That's impossible.
Number 5. Nightmare. Teamwork, communication and guile were all required for this grisly game show. As one player dons the helmet of justice, which effectively blinds anyone who wears it, they go into the dungeons, where their only chance of solving the puzzles, evading the traps and escaping the monsters is to follow instructions from their 3 teammates, who watch on in complete comfort and relative safety. Talk about drawing the short straw. A wild success, Nightmare was more than just a bad dream, and its legacy lived on into the 21st century. Number 4. Terrorhawks. Jerry Anderson swaps puppetry styles next and challenges Jim Henson for the title of most terrifying character with the Terrorhawks' chief villain, Zelda. The haggard and deranged appearance of this crazed android was creepily complemented by her cackling cries. In fact, her whole family was pretty terrifying. Seriously, these puppets would send Chucky running for the hills, but at least we could always count on good old Sergeant Major Zero.
You only have to say the word, and I's with you every inch of the way.
Number 3. Alidor. While some of today's entries haven't aged all that well, this mid-90s fantasy series could still hold its own on TV today. Based on the 1965 novel by Alan Garner, Alidor is a dark alternative world mysteriously connected to our own, and it's up to 4 kids from Manchester to defend us all from the evil forces at play. And when we say evil, we mean evil. Remembered for its frightening villains and clever storylines, Alidor struck a chord then, and still would now. The Demon Headmaster, as if we need another reason to dread going to school. Played by the terrifically terrifying Terrence Hardiman, the Demon Headmaster sought to conquer the world by bringing order and control under his all-powerful leadership. But where this guy really differs from other tyrannical teachers is in his supernatural ability to instantly hypnotize you with his scary green eyes. Look into those and you'll quickly regret it. Entirely remorseless and completely evil, he made real-world school suddenly seem not so bad.
Welcome to the world.
Oh! Oh, I hate fudge. Oh! Oh no, there's still some in my mouth. Whatever.
Some of the scariest moments in our lives comes from the movies and programs we were exposed to as a child. Nowadays, nothing too scary is made for kids, but it seems like back then, there was a whole mess of frightening scenes in some of our favorite movies. So today, I'm going to count down the most disturbing moments in kids' film. Just remember that while these moments might not be scary to you as an adult, they definitely left an imprint on us as kids. With that being said, this is the top 20 disturbing moments in kids' film. The Child Catcher, from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. With a name like the Child Catcher, one would expect this man to be evil or creepy, so kids can learn not to talk to strangers. But this guy took it to a whole new level. With his mischievous appearance and eerie voice, the Child Catcher definitely reminded kids to keep away from mysterious men. The Library Ghost from Ghostbusters. The most frightening of scenes are the ones that come out of nowhere. In this scene, the Ghostbusters are trying to figure out what to do in their first encounter with an actual ghost, which happens to be just an elderly librarian. After realizing that asking questions won't work, they decide to do what any rational person would do and charge at the ghost. The Banshee, from Darby O'Gill and the Little People. One of the lesser-known Disney films, Darby O'Gill and the Little People featured Irish culture, as our protagonist tries to find the land of the little people, assumed to be leprechauns. Towards the end, Katie falls to her death, which triggers the arrival of the Banshee.
The Banshee!
For most kids growing up, the Banshee, with its vaguely opaque outfit, green overtone, and haunting cry, was the one to scare the crap out of them. The animatronics. From Dark Crystal, creator of The Muppet Show, Jim Henson, is the last person you expect to appear on this list. However, he was known for putting out more dark and edgy work by his fans. The Dark Crystal was a perfect example, combining creepy animatronics with religious ceremonies, which was so profane that the film was banned in Iran. Snake, from Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a classic horror kids film. It was filled with disturbing imagery and gags, most notably, the scene where Beetlejuice becomes a snake and starts tossing people around the house. Modern CGI does not compare to how frightening this thing looked. The Troll, from Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest Scared Stupid is part of a whole series of films centered around a fictional man named Ernest, a clumsy man who finds himself in peculiar situations. In the Halloween-themed film Ernest Scared Stupid, he accidentally unleashes an army of trolls upon a small town, and these trolls are some of the most disgusting-looking things ever, with their saliva-filled smiles, noses with leaking mucus, and spikes on their eyebrows. The trolls kept kids frightened throughout all of Halloween. Bruno's transformation, from The Witches. The 1990 movie is full of creepy imagery, such as bald witches, and mice that used to be children. Speaking of mice, there is a scene where the RSPCC, a group of all of England's witches, gather together to discuss Formula 86, a potion that can turn the drinker into a mouse within 2 hours. To demonstrate, a boy named Bruno, who earlier was given chocolate laced with the formula, transformed into a mouse right in front of the group of witches. The scene is filled with quirky camera angles, awkward close-ups, and all the witches laughing creepily. Large Marge, from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Pee-wee's Playhouse was already a show that might have been too creepy for kids, so how could the writers possibly up the ante for the show's movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Well, first off, there's a scene where Pee-wee gets picked up by a truck driver named Large Marge. She begins to tell Pee-wee a story about the worst accident she's ever seen, which leads to this. But her face was downright disturbing. It was later revealed that Large Marge was actually dead the whole time.
Large Marge? She's...
Judge Doom, from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Throughout the film, Judge Doom came off as a mysterious kind of character with a simple goal in mind. He wanted to get rid of the crazy physics-defying tunes. Following his supposed death, Doom survives by revealing that he is actually half man, half tune, but completely bat-sane. Now the once mysterious Judge Doom goes on a rampage, using tune logic as he tries to kill our protagonist. Finally, Judge Doom is defeated by being melted in the dip, also known as Tune Acid. The Wheelers, from Return to Oz. Whenever somebody mentions this movie scaring them as a child, it's usually the scene with the hallway of disembodied heads, yelling at Dorothy as she tries to escape. Which is pretty horrifying, but what's absolutely is the scene with the tall, crazy laughing hostile creatures known as the Wheelers. Return to Oz was panned by most critics, claiming that the film was too scary and intense for children, and the Wheelers definitely helped make it so.
My god, that's terrifying.
That's right, it's almost Halloween, and that means Halloween specials. Although while we all know the classics like The Nightmare Before Christmas and It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, there are many others that have been quietly forgotten. That's why today, we'll be bringing them back from the dead, in our look at 7 forgotten and underrated Halloween specials.
Disney's Halloween Treat. Our first entry is an interesting case of the content itself not being forgotten, but rather the way it was presented. Disney's Halloween Treat was a half-hour special that premiered in 1982, featuring a talking jack-o'-lantern narrating through classic, haunted, and frightening Disney moments. Some of the moments in question are Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow from The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, various creepy moments from classic Disney shorts like Pluto's Judgment Day, and several segments of scary villains from Disney's past. The opening is an orange colorized version of the classic 1929 silly symphony short The Skeleton Dance, featuring its own original theme song. Later Disney Halloween specials, such as the appropriately named A Disney Halloween, incorporated segments from Disney's Halloween Treat, essentially being a longer cut of the latter. Disney's Halloween Treat was broadcast throughout the rest of the 80s and into the mid-90s, later receiving a home video release. However, to this day, a DVD or Blu-ray version has not been released.
Witches' Night Out. Witches' Night Out is a 70s Canadian Halloween special that served as a sequel to a special from 1974 titled The Gift of Winter and features the vocal talent of Dan Aykroyd and Catherine O'Hara. This seems to be a special that many people remember but aren't exactly sure if it was real or not. Well, rest assured, it was, and it went on to become a cult classic amongst Halloween special fans. The story takes place in Anytown and follows a depressed witch who is summoned by a pair of children. The kids are upset that they aren't able to scare anybody on Halloween and ask her for help. The witch turns them into their costumes, a werewolf and ghost, and sends them off to a party to scare people. The masses aren't too accepting of the monsters though and chase them away, causing the witch to lose her wand and chaos to run amok. Luckily, after some antics, she's able to get it back and the town accepts her. The film then ends with a very 70s disco party. It's a rather dated film, but still a fun one that captures the essence of the season. Apparently, there's a stage version in the works. However, there is limited info available about this, so perhaps it's just a rumor.
Mad Monster Party. Rankin Bass is a company most notably known for their stop-motion adaptations of classical Christmas stories, such as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Little Drummer Boy, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. However, unknown to many, they actually took a crack at creating stop-motion films centered around another holiday, Halloween. Mad Monster Party is the studio's first and only attempt at creating a Halloween-themed film, and though it flew under the radar for the most part, it became a cult classic over time. The film follows Baron Boris von Frankenstein, voiced by Boris Karloff himself, who has achieved the secret to total destruction and notifies all the monsters in the Isle of Evil to come celebrate the occasion. He plans to use the event to announce his retirement as head of the Worldwide Organization of Monsters. The guest list features many monster icons, such as Count Dracula, the Invisible Man, the Wolf Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and even the creature from the Black Lagoon. Despite being a rather silly Halloween-themed film, the plot actually becomes pretty deep and turns into a struggle for power and touches on the fragile nature of life. It's not your standard spooky film, but that's why it's a cult classic. Luckily, the film hasn't been forgotten by its current owners, Lionsgate, who have released a special edition DVD and Blu-ray edition. Go and give it a watch this Halloween season if you haven't.
Halloween is Grinch Night. Christmas isn't the only holiday that the Grinch has left his nasty mark on. Halloween is Grinch Night is an often forgotten Dr. Seuss special starring the titular Grinch in one of his few appearances, whereas at the end of the Christmas special, he changes his wicked ways. The story takes place in Whoville on a particularly horrible night known as Grinch Night. The Grinch goes out of his way to terrorize the Whos, all because a sour sweet wind blows through the air, causing animals to howl and annoy the Grinch. A young Who is whisked away by the wind and finds himself in front of the Grinch, who is on his way to bring a large weapon called the Paraphernalia Wagon down to Whoville. The Whos try to stall the Grinch, who eventually becomes annoyed enough to unleash his weapon on him. What happens next is what can essentially be described as an acid trip that doesn't even make sense in the weird world of Dr. Seuss. The imagery and disturbing tone in this scene is very reminiscent of the pink elephant scene from Dumbo, in the sense that it could be rather upsetting for children. In the end, the Who does not stand down and stalls the Grinch just long enough for the sour sweet wind to die down, causing the Grinch to return to the top of his mountain. While pushing the wagon back up the hill, the Grinch ominously states that the wind will return and Grinch Night will come once again.
But that wind will be coming back someday. I'll be coming back someday.
Despite being rather unknown, it turns out that Halloween is Grinch Night was actually the favorite Grinch special of Dr. Seuss himself, even more so than the timeless How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Frankenweenie. While many may know this film by its 2012 stop-motion remake, Frankenweenie actually originated as a short live-action film made in 1984. Many mistakenly believe this to be Tim Burton's first live-action short film, but that title actually goes to his adaptation of Hansel and Gretel, which aired once on the Disney Channel on Halloween night in 1982, and then never again. Frankenweenie fared a bit better, receiving a home media release and, of course, being remade almost 30 years later. The original short film was actually included in the DVD release of the remake, as well as in The Nightmare Before Christmas. The story follows a young Victor Frankenstein, who loves to create movies with his dog Sparky. Unfortunately, Sparky is hit by a car and killed, leading Victor to attempt to bring his beloved pet back to life using electricity. It works, and for a time, Victor and Sparky are able to be together happily. However, the neighbors are terrified by this, thinking of the reanimated Sparky as a monster. He's chased away by an angry mob to a miniature golf course where he hides in a windmill. The windmill is accidentally set on fire, and Victor gets trapped inside, only to be saved by Sparky, who gets crushed under the collapsing windmill. The mob realizes the error of their ways, and use their cars and jumper cables to revive the dog. Victor and Sparky live happily ever after, in a weird living dead companionship. While Frankenweenie isn't specifically a Halloween film, it's definitely an enjoyable homage to Frankenstein to enjoy during the October month, or any time of the year if you're looking for some reanimated fun.
I meant to fall on the floor, not on the sofa. You understand me? Ooh!